SEO, search engine optimization, and I help people to find the content and the topics that they want to write about that will bring people to their site from Google.
Hey guys, how are you doing? So I wanted to hop in. I feel like I don't hop in enough, especially I am here, my YouTube folks and with my Facebook folks. And so I was like, I don't hop in the live. So let me join, come and hop in and chit chat with you guys. I know for us here in the States, there's a lot of things going on. I am not going to go there today. But I am going to say some people like me right now are digging into doing our work and getting things done. And so that's why we're here. We're going to talk about things that we need to do because no matter what happens the rest of this week, it is about to be the holiday season. It is about to be go time. And we have got a lot of things to do. And today I'm going to be talking to my authors. We've got a lot of books to sell. Or maybe we haven't been selling a lot of books. And so we really, really, really need to talk about this. So if you are joining in, say hey. I'm using StreamYard. You might have to get permission to StreamYard to say hey, to see comments and stuff like that. But I wanted to, and I'm not going to make this like super long. If you guys don't know who I am, especially if you just see me on YouTube, I don't come here enough, right? I am Thompkins-Robsinson. I am the owner here at Girl Get Visible. I am also the author of my SEO workbook. So when I talk to my authors and I tell you guys about what I went through creating this book and selling this book and how I've sold hundreds of copies of this book, know that I am speaking from I've done it too, not from like, oh, you should do this and I don't know anything about this. And it's funny because there aren't that many, especially when it comes to SEO folks, when it comes to marketing folks, there aren't that many folks who have books. And so they're trying to teach you how to market, how to sell, how to get your book out there, how to get in front of your audience, how to get more readers. And they don't even have books. So I'm just going to look, I got a book, right? So like I said, I am definitely talking from these are the things that I have done. This is how I did it. And this is what I'm going to say that more of you guys should be doing. So let's start with one thing I see with my authors, with my fellow authors, is that we start and stop writing at the book. And what I mean by that is you have a great book idea. You may talk about it a little bit. Maybe you might post about it on your social. You go like in the lab and write this book for however many months. And I happen to be talking about this and doing all these things during NaNoWriMo, which is the National Novel Writers Month. And so I hope I put the acronym right. I did. NaNoWriMo, I see now. But during the National Novel Writing Month. And the reason why is because it's a month where we all go in the lab and we all say we're gonna write for 30 days, such and such amount of time. I actually wrote part of this book. Let me turn it this way. I actually wrote part of this book during NaNoWriMo, the year that I was writing this book. I was writing the book in 2018. So that November, I was one of those people. I was in the lab writing on this book, right? And so people, like, you get this good book idea, everybody tells you, you got a book in you, you need to write, and we do it, we listen, right? We do all the things, we go into the lab, we say, okay, I'm going to write this book, and I'm going to come up with this goodness, I'm going to put all my words down, I'm going to get my editors, get all the things, I'm going to find a printer. I'm also self-published, by the way, so I did all these things. Like I said, I'm right there with you. I did all these things myself, right? So, we go in the lab, we write this book, we get it published, we get it printed, we do all the things. We probably throw like a huge, big, beautiful launch party. I had a launch party. I should have had like a picture so I can show you guys. I had a launch party. I loved it. A big balloon that said SEO in the back. So if you ever see any of my pictures with a big SEO in the back, that is for my launch party. I did all the things. I did all the things that writers do. And then what most writers do is after they do all of that, all they do now is talk about their book. They literally stop writing, unless they're writing a second book. But they stop creating content. They stop talking about the things that they're about. And then they wonder, why isn't anybody buying my book? I have all this greatness in my book. I put my heart, my soul, my mind, my everything into this book, but nobody is reading it. Nobody is buying it. It's just not getting out there. And one of the things I learned, and learned through writing my book, but also learned because this is what I do with SEO, is that your book cannot be the only thing that you write. Your book should not be the only thing that you write. What your book really should be, you should be really talking about what you're going to be writing about way ahead of actually getting your book out there. And when I say talking about, I'm not talking about going on interviews or doing podcasts or doing videos, but you should be writing about almost like teasers of these are the kind of things I'm going to talk about. And by the time they get your book, it should be like, I've learned so much, I've heard so much that I needed to get it all. I needed to get the full thing. And then when your book is out, guess what you do? You continue to write. You write about some of the other things that are going on in the book. You write about the things that lead up to the book, because like my book is about SEO. If you want to learn SEO, well, there's a lot of steps before even people want to learn SEO. Some people are just trying to learn how to market. Should I do Facebook ads, or should I do SEO, or should I just spend all my time on Instagram? And so that's something that's not in my book, because my book is for once you want SEO, right? But I could definitely write and talk about what's the difference. What do people get from doing Facebook ads to Instagram to SEO, and why SEO is kind of the thing that you should be doing and the things you should be talking about. I could write about things like I'm talking to you guys about tonight. Why more authors need more SEO, why they need more content, why they need to not stop writing at the moment that they write the book. So what I found with a lot of my author friends is that when I ask them, like, where's your website? Or when I ask them, like, have you created any posts for your website? What's the last thing you wrote on your blog? Like, even if I ask them if they did a YouTube video, they tell me no. They tell me they haven't created that content. They're not that. They tell me it's in the book. It's in the book. Read chapter this. They tell me all these things, and then they wonder, why isn't anyone buying from me? Why isn't anyone reading my book? Now, I know you're going to say, but Killa, I saw like Michelle Obama. She didn't have to do a whole bunch of writing before the book, but she was Michelle Obama, right? People were writing about her before she did the book. There are people like big names, there are celebrities, there are folks who may not need to write. But if you could honestly look in the mirror and say, I'm not on that celebrity status yet. I am not Oprah yet. I'm not Michelle Obama, Michelle Obama yet. I'm not Seth Godin yet. I'm not those names yet. I've got maybe a modest following. I got a couple of thousand, couple of hundred people. Then you've got to do things to help bring people into the journey that is going to be your book. You've got to do things to help show people that this is the stuff that you talk about. These are the things that they want to learn about from you. This is how you can help them. Because literally your writing is showing them how you can help them, how they're going to benefit from the book, how are they going to benefit from learning about you. Because the other thing, especially again, those of us who've written books or written books about things that are pretty common, I'm not the only SEO book in the sea. I'll tell you hands down, you go into Amazon. Now, I will say I'm one of the very few women. I think I am the only Black woman that I've seen. Like I've gone through a couple of pages. I haven't seen any other people that look like me, So while there are some onlys that are only me, I am not the only SEO book. I might be the only journal guide the way I've got my SEO book, maybe the only workbook, but I'm not the only book. So I can't just think, okay, I'm going to say I wrote this book and people are just going to jump in and read this book. I've got to give them a little something. I've got to show them this is what we're reading. This is why we're reading this. This is why this is important. This is why this is even important to your business, why you even need SEO. I've got to show them these things if I want them to buy my book. And I showed them before. Some of you guys may know, if you've not listened to that podcast episode, I did a whole series of podcast episodes that before even I sold my book they're not pre-orders. I sold my book way before I was done with the book. I did a Kickstarter campaign. I successfully funded a Kickstarter campaign to create this book. The way I did that was because I had already created content. I've been teaching SEO for about 2-3 years. Before I wrote the book. I'd been doing SEO for about 5-6 years before I wrote the book. And so I had already been creating and talking about and building that foundation that you need SEO. You want this. And so by the time I came out with the book, people were willing to give for the book and support the book even before the book was completed. But I didn't stop there. I didn't stop and say, okay, the book is done. Now everybody's got to get everything from the book. I still created content. I still to this day create content. I just put something about a certain plugin, Yoast, that I talk about in the book, but I don't go into this detail in the book. I just did a post about them this weekend. I'm creating this video today here on my YouTube and on my Facebook so you guys can see and hear and learn more about what we have. So one of the important things, like I said, one of the reasons why authors just aren't selling enough books is because they just aren't creating content. They're literally writing the book and closing the doors. They're not writing to the book. They're not writing after the book. They are just doing the book and walking away and thinking that's the only writing. The next time they're going to write is when they're working on their second book. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't write again until your second book, it is way too late because you really got to sell the first book. Like your second book should be gravy because so many people should have your first book. So this is something that I'm going to be working with authors. I'm doing a whole NaNoWriMo authors edition of my magnetic content challenge. And I did this challenge last year and I should have this up too. I need to make sure I have some pictures up for you to show you guys. But I did this challenge last month with some of my entrepreneurs and I had 71 women go through this challenge and come out on the other end with content that led to their services, content that can help them get sales, content that made them more confident about who they were serving and who they were talking to. And now we are getting ready for the holiday season. So we are right now in a whole accelerator incubator working on our content leading for the whole holiday season. And I thought, you know what? Who else can help benefit from this? Who needs this the most? And I thought my authors, because my authors, like I said, they don't want to keep creating content. They just want to write the book and walk away and then wonder why they're not getting sales. So I said, let me do something special for my authors. So I am doing another round of the Magnetic Content Challenge. And I did put up the banner at least got this far today, right? And it is totally free for you guys. So I am doing another round of my Magnetic Content Challenge, this one specifically for authors. So we're going to be specifically talking about what do you need to get people to your book? What do you need to get readers wanting to read your book? Because readers who want to read your book become buyers who buy your book. Easy, right? Easy. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how to create content that doesn't actually tell everybody what's in your book. Because that's the other question. People are like, well, if I create blog posts or if I create a video, if I create content, people are just going to not read my book because they're going to think it's all here. We've got a whole system for that. So don't worry. Don't worry, I got you. So in the challenge, we are going to talk about what you can create to get more people reading and wanting your book. We are going to talk about how to make sure that you are bringing them to your book, but not actually giving them your whole book. So you're not going to be writing about the book. It's not taking chapter 1 and making it available. It's none of that type of stuff. We're going to talk about how to show people that you can help them. So you are the person that's going to be able to help them. You are the person that's going to be the support for them. And they need your book and whatever else you have, because some people would have books and they have a course and you have this and you have that. We're going to talk about all those things now. So I want you guys to jump on over to girlgetvisible.com/challenge. You guys see it on the screen. And if you're watching this and the challenge is over, sign up for the wait list because I do these challenges pretty regularly. And so you will be able to still jump in on the next round of the challenge if you are if you're on my YouTube channel and you're just seeing this video and it's months later. But if you're seeing it now, seeing it this week, we start on November the 9th. So November the 9th, head on over, or before November the 9th, head on over to girlgetvisible.com/challenge and jump on in. And I am going to help you guys create the content that actually sells your book. The thing that a lot of people are missing. You got the book, you did all these things, but you're not selling the book. So I'm going to help you guys to sell the book all next week in this 5-day challenge. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.